Dạ có.
Thì Dương có không?
Dạ có.
Các bạn theo dõi cái bảng định danh của tôi nha. Vì tôi sợ tôi bị nhầm dòng. Mình nhắc lại bạn không lên tiếng không sao hết. Không lên tiếng thì tôi để số 0 thôi. Tức là vắng mặt. Không bắt buộc bạn phải mở micro. Bạn hiền hậu, Di Hoàng,
Dạ
Huy
có.
Hoàng,
Dạ có.
Quỳnh Hương,
Dạ có.
Xuân Kha,
Dạ có.
Minh Khang,
Dạ có.
Hồng Liên,
Dạ có.
Diệu Linh,
Dạ có.
Phương Linh,
Dạ có.
Gia Linh,
Dạ có.
Trúc Mai,
Dạ có.
Xuân Nghi,
Dạ có.
Thảo Nguyên,
Dạ có.
Quỳnh Như,
Dạ có.
Minh Quang,
Dạ có.
Minh Thiên, Minh Thiện, Quỳnh Trang. Bạn Thiện có hai buổi học vắng cả hai, tôi nghĩ là bạn này nghỉ luôn. Quỳnh Trang, Trần Ngọc Quỳnh Trang,
Dạ có.
Lê Đỗ Yến Trinh,
Dạ có.
Ngọc Trinh, Tiến Tú,
Dạ có thầy.
Thu Uyên
Dạ có.
và Uyên Vi.
Dạ có.
Rồi, như vậy trong
Nhi
lớp
Hoàng
có
có thầy
khoảng
ơi. Nhi Hoàng có thầy ơi.
sao lại không lên tiếng?
Dạ.
Dạ nãy em có lên tiếng rồi.
Thầy ơi, hiền hậu nữa thầy. Hồi nãy cái mic em nó có vấn đề á thầy.
Rồi, như vậy thì tôi vừa điểm danh vừa kiểm tra xem cái microphone của bạn có hoạt động hay không. Nếu có thì nếu có thì tốt không? Bởi vì trong quá trình giảng online bữa nay và buổi hôm sau thì tôi đặt ra câu hỏi và tôi mời một bạn trả lời. Và nếu mà mic bạn bị hư thì xem như bạn chấp nhận thiệt thòi là giáo viên nghĩ rằng bạn không muốn trả lời, hoặc là bạn là sinh viên ảo, bạn có mặt vào lớp xong bạn làm việc khác, bạn có thể ngủ một giấc trưa buổi trưa mà dù vẫn có tên trên lớp online. Đó là vấn đề thứ nhất. Vấn đề thứ hai là tôi đã upload ở trên lớp MR.H cái tài liệu cái sách command Q. Đợi chút để tôi chỉ ra cho bạn thấy. Đây là tài liệu tôi đã upload lên lớp sách command Q. Để mở cuốn sách này bạn cần phải có cái password. Và đây là password để mở cuốn sách. Các bạn cần gì đó bạn mở video và hỏi nha, bạn đừng dùng ô chat box, tôi không có thấy. Và thứ hai nữa tôi cũng không thích chat nữa, cho nên là bạn cần mở video và bạn mở cái microphone và nói cho giáo viên biết. Đó, thì đây là cái sách Principles of Economics. Cái sách này hôm trước tôi định upload lên gọi các bạn cuốn sách cái phiên bản cũ hơn chút, đó là 2015. Các bạn đang học cái sách kinh tế vi mô đúng không, và kinh tế vĩ mô học kỳ sau đó, là mà nhà trường in ấn chính thức là 6th edition, xuất bản năm 2012. in hoàn chỉnh bằng tiếng Việt năm 2014 mà sách gốc tiếng Anh là 2012. Tôi chuyển cho bản sách mới hơn là 2015, mà cuối cùng tôi quyết định là chuyển bản sách mới hơn nữa là 2018, 20, đúng rồi. Sách này là sách 2018, một cuốn sách khá là đẹp, đẹp về hình thức à, và tất nhiên tốt cả nội dung. Các bạn thấy đây là cái sách mà tôi chia sẻ cá nhân với các bạn, bởi vì nhà trường không có mua, nhà trường không mua sách cho giáo viên, cũng không mua sách điện tử cho sinh viên, không mua sách điện tử bản PDF cho giáo viên. Sách này của cá nhân của tôi, và chính vì cá nhân của tôi cho nên là tôi upload ở trên lớp MR.H này. Tôi để đến chiều nay thôi, để đến 12 giờ đêm nay, tức là đến 11 giờ 59 phút đêm nay thì cuốn sách này sẽ được gỡ bỏ khỏi cái lớp MR.H. Và
Dạ
như
thầy
vậy
ơi, dạ thầy ơi, có bạn Hoàng
bạn
Thị
nói
Quỳnh Trang.
các em mở
Hoàng
micro
Thị
đó, đừng bao giờ nói là thầy ơi, dạ thầy à, dạ chào thầy, chào cả lớp, thầy ơi con nghe em nói tiếng rõ hay không. Em mở micro và tôi không nghe tiếng thì lập tức tôi phản ánh ngay, tôi không nghe gì hết, tuyệt đối
Dạ
không bao
thầy ơi,
giờ
thầy
mở
có
micro,
nghe thấy em nói chưa?
tuyệt đối không mở micro nói thầy ơi, thầy nghe em nói không, thầy ơi thầy à. Bạn muốn nói gì nói rõ lại nghe xem.
Dạ, dạ thầy ơi, em là bạn Hoàng Thị Quỳnh Trang ạ. Thầy có nghe thấy em nói chưa ạ?
Tôi nghe rất rõ, em muốn nói gì.
Dạ, nãy mic em không có dùng được á thầy, giờ em mới mở được á thầy.
Vậy đó tính sao, bây giờ tôi nói chuyện khác. Vậy sinh viên cứ micro thầy ơi thầy à hoài không biết nói gì, cũng như là các em không nghe tiếng của tôi, mở micro lập tức, tụi em không nghe tiếng của thầy, và tôi nghe như vậy thì tôi sẽ điều chỉnh lại. Mình nói sinh viên không nghe mà sinh viên nói mình nghe, rõ ràng có vấn đề gì đó trục trặc thì tôi chỉnh lại. Tuyệt đối nha, tránh tối đa dùng cái ô chat box. Nhắc lại như vậy, tôi cung cấp cái sách cá nhân và cung cấp cho bạn cho các bạn cái mật khẩu để mở sách, và các bạn download cho đến đêm nay, đến 12 giờ đêm thì sách sẽ biến mất. Cái sách này tốt ở chỗ là nó có cái hai phần micro mà chúng ta đang học, và cái phần macro mà các bạn sẽ học ở học kỳ sau. Phần micro bắt đầu từ chương 1 part 1, bạn nhớ bài đọc hôm trước, 10 Principles of Economics, và kết thúc ở chương 23. Chương 23 là chương part 6, không, hơn nữa, chương 20, chương 22, kết thúc ở chương 22. Đây là cuốn sách tôi cho rằng là lúc nãy tôi nói với các bạn là đẹp về hình thức và hay về nội dung. Vấn đề là bạn có khai thác được nó hay không, không biết. Vì bạn thấy cuốn sách rất đẹp, nhắc lại tôi chia sẻ với các bạn với tư cách cá nhân. Nếu mà tôi không chia sẻ thì bạn phải tự mình trả lấy, bởi vì nhà trường không mua sách. Nhà trường tôi dạy môn học này tôi cũng không có sách nhà trường mua nữa. Và như vậy giá trị của nó như thế nào thì giá trị hữu dụng của nó, người ta gọi cái utility của nó như thế nào thì nó phụ thuộc vào cái cách xài của các bạn. Kết thúc một chương chúng ta có những cái keywords hay là key concept. Ví dụ học chương trước xong và thấy có những cái thuật ngữ chính như là cái scarcity, economics, efficiency, equality, etc. Rất nhiều. Chúng ta các bạn có summary chứ, chúng ta có cái summary, chúng ta có keywords, chúng ta có cái questions for review và problems and applications, đó là bài tập. Tôi cho là khá là tốt. Và như vậy nếu bạn đọc nó ở nhà cộng thêm với nghe bài giảng của giáo viên, bạn làm thêm bài tập, thì tôi cho rằng là bạn sử dụng cuốn sách đúng. Còn bạn có cuốn sách này xong bạn để đó một bên, bạn cũng chẳng bao giờ mở nó ra, bạn không bên ra giấy, bạn cũng chẳng mở ra trên cái bản PDF và trên laptop, bạn chỉ dựa vào cái outline của giáo viên, thì cuốn sách này nó vô nghĩa với bạn. Mặc dù là tôi đã chia sẻ với tính cách là cá nhân. Đó là thông tin đầu tiên. Rồi chúng ta đi vào và như vậy password cung cấp một lần và bạn không hỏi là thầy password là gì. Nếu mà bạn hỏi thì tôi sẽ trả lời là bạn hỏi nhưng bằng khác cái password trả về được cung cấp là gì. Today lesson is a chapter 2, thinking like an economist. Sorry. You have the word economy, economist, but economics. Because I don't have enough time. That's why I focus on some important, some most important things in this chapter, and the remaining you mark and read it at home. Thinking like an economist. Tôi vừa cho bạn Lê Minh Thiện vào lớp mà tôi nghĩ rằng bạn may mắn đó, Lê Minh Thiện. Tôi đã nói là vào lớp trễ sau 10 phút đã ngoài lớp. Bây giờ là 13 giờ 03 phút. 13 giờ 03 phút, bạn vào lớp trễ 18 phút. Bạn may mắn đó. Và sự may mắn này sẽ không bao giờ lặp lại ở buổi sau. Buổi học sau trễ sau 10 phút, bạn đừng xin vào lớp. Bạn đừng xin vào lớp, tôi không cho vào lớp. Cứ lai ra 1-2 phút có sinh viên vào lớp. Có thể em vào lớp vì lý do này, vì lý do khác. Học online trễ, bạn vào trễ vì lý do gì? Bạn không phải chạy xe ngoài đường, không hết xăng, không sạc đánh xe không cán đinh, không thể xe buýt. Lý do gì trễ? Chỉ có bằng lười thôi. Trước khi vào lớp bạn phải chuẩn bị cái laptop chứ, chuẩn bị mạng chứ. Bạn phải mạng wifi chập chờn rồi bạn phải chuyển sang 4G. Sinh viên nào mà không có cái gói 4G, không có 4G sao bạn xài điện thoại di động? Và nhắc lại với tất cả sinh viên đang có mặt trong lớp. Tất nhiên xin lỗi nhưng bạn được vào lớp đúng giờ là các bạn sẽ vào lớp đúng giờ theo quy định là 12 giờ 45. Và sau 10 phút bạn đừng xin vào lớp nha, vào lớp cũng không được. Và tôi vừa nhắc xong thì các bạn Nguyễn Thị Ngọc Trinh xin vào lớp và bạn thấy là tôi từ chối. Và do đó tôi nói bạn Minh Thị là may mắn. Cả lớp đang ngồi trước màn hình, tôi chiếu toàn màn hình và tôi từ chối Nguyễn Thị Ngọc Trinh vào lớp. Và hôm sau bạn nào vào trễ giống bạn Ngọc Trinh như vậy ở ngoài. Học online, lý do giờ vào trễ? Cái trường hợp sau đây này, bạn vào lớp rồi, bạn bị rớt mạng, bạn ra khỏi lớp, bạn xin vào lớp được. Trong trường đó bạn phải báo trước cho một bạn trong lớp biết. Lớp này không có lớp trưởng, tôi không biết có lớp trưởng hay không biết, nên báo cho một bạn trong lớp biết. Bạn trong lớp mở micro lên tiếng, thưa thầy bạn này đã vào lớp rồi nhưng mà bị out ra khỏi lớp do mạng thì tôi sẽ cho bạn đó vào lớp. Còn ngoài ra tôi từ chối tất cả. Sorry for all students, right, who come to the class online on time. Sorry. And the first part I present for you is try to distinguish microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics, the study of how households and firms make decisions and how they interact in markets. And macroeconomics, the study of economic-wide phenomena, including inflation, unemployment, and economic growth. how people make decisions. We have some principles related to this subject and how people interact with one another. All are presented in the previous chapter. And I don't know, you can keep in mind these principles. So I ask randomly, Nguyễn Huỳnh Anh,
Dạ.
tell me the principles related to the first question, how people interact, how people make decisions.
The first question, how people make decision. Principle 1 is people face trade-offs. Principle 2 is the cost of something is what you give up to get it. Principle number 3 is rational people think at the margin. Principle number 4 is people respond to incentives.
You read the document, you read by your memory.
I try to memorize it, but I also take a glance at the document.
No, so you open the camera. Open the camera.
Oh my god. You see me now?
Not yet.
I have already opened my cameras.
Yes, and now you look up the ceiling, not look down. Yes, and tell me for principles related to the first question.
Question 1 is how people make decisions. So, principle number 1 is I try to recite what I know. So I don't remember principle number 1, but I remember principle number 2 is the cost of something is what you give up to get it. And then the principle that is rational people think at the margin. That's principle number 3. And principle number 4 is people respond to incentives. But I don't really remember principle number 1. Sorry.
And now I call Phạm Huỳnh Minh Quang.
I'm
Yeah,
here.
Huỳnh Anh, you can turn off your camera.
Thank you, sir.
Minh Quang,
Can you hear me?
yeah, turn off your camera and look up the ceiling.
Oh, I'm using my PC, so I don't have my camera. Can I log in my phone? Can you?
It's up to you and quick.
Please wait a minute. I'm trying to log in my phone.
And in waiting for Quang, right? I call Hồ Tiến Tú.
Yes, teacher.
Turn on your cam. Turn on your camera.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
And now look up the ceiling. Yes. Principle 1 is
Principle 1 is people people face trade-off. Principle 2 is the cost of something that you get up to get it. Principle 3 is the principle 3.
thank you, Tiến Tú.
Also,
Tiến Tú get the first negative mark.
Yes.
It seems that you don't review the lesson before joining the class.
So now I can turn off my camera.
Yeah, need to turn off your camera. And now come back to Wang, to Minh Quang.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, and look at the ceiling.
Okay. I
That's not
already did.
okay to me, right? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Never say okay to me. Again.
Okay. The question number one is. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
Yes. The question number one is
Thank you, Minh Quang. Thank you, Minh
how
Quang. Turn
people
off your,
interact with you.
your camera.
Okay.
Minh Quang get the first negative mark. Always okay, okay. You can say okay, right? But to the person the same age with you, to your friends, but not to your a person much older than you. Lê Minh Thiện, the first call for Lê Minh Thiện. After the third call, right? After the third call, if you keep silent, I remove you from the class. The second call from Lê Minh Thiện, and the last chance for you, Lê Minh Thiện. And now I remove Lê Minh Thiện from the class. Phan Hồng Uyên Vi, the
Yes.
first call. The second call for
Yes.
Uyên Vi.
Yes. Yes, teacher.
And now turn off your camera.
Yeah.
Turn on your camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look up the ceiling. And the principles related to the second question, how people interact with one another.
Yeah. So, teacher, the first one is the principle five. Trade can make people better off. Principle six. Markets are usually a good place to organize economic activity. And principle seven is governments can improve. Government can sometimes can sometimes improve economic.
The market outcome.
Yeah, can sometimes improve the market outcome.
5, 6, 7.
Uh, uh, can I repeat the principles? Uh, I think I have answered.
Don't look down, right?
Yeah. Uh, can I answer again? Yeah. For the principle number five, trade can make everyone better off. Principle number six, markets are usually a good place to organize economic activity. And principle number seven is governments can sometimes improve economic outcome. I'm sorry, market outcome.
That's enough. Thank you. But you notice that you sometimes look on the laptop. Not good, right? Phan Hồng Nguyên Vi.
Yeah, when
I don't agree with it because I would like to use to take out some to take out some your memory, not not to lie on the document.
I'm sorry, I don't use my document, but it's my habits of looking when I'm talking to someone.
Thank you. This is the principles related to microeconomics, because the remaining, right, the principle 8, 9, and 10 reserved for macroeconomics. The study of how households and firms make decision, and how they interact in markets. For example, the the result of interaction between firms and households give us the price and the quantity of an item. For example, the price of a kilo of rice and the quantity of rice. Suppose the price of a kilo of rice is 20,000 Vietnam đồng, and the quantity of rice is 100,000 tons. But in macroeconomics, we don't talk about the price of an item anymore. We don't talk about the quantity of an item, because in macroeconomics, the study of economy-wide phenomena. It means that we gather on small parts in this economy into an entire entity, an entire entity, một thực thể. We don't cut up the economy into small parts as in microeconomics. We examine the economy as a whole, an entire entity. That's why instead of talking about the price of a kilo of rice, we replace by the price level. What is the price level? The price level is the price of a basket of goods and services. How many goods and services in this basket? It depends on the general statistical office of each country. In Vietnam, the general statistical office uses more than 500 goods and services. So the basket is a very big, right? And the price of this basket is called the price level. And if the price level increases, it causes inflation. That's why inflation is a subject, an issue, right, related to macroeconomics, because inflation doesn't focus on the net term anymore. Inflation based on the price level, based the change in the price level, based an increase, based on the increase in price level. And how about the quantity? Right? About the quantity, right? You replace the quantity of rice by the by the output of a nation, uh, a nation, a nation's output. A nation's output includes all all goods and services produced in the country. And of course, instead of talking about one item, for example, rice, now we talk about all goods and services. It's a very large, right? Much larger than the quantity of rice. And if the nation's output increases, we have the economic growth. Economic growth. Inflation, right? Economic growth, unemployment are important issues of macroeconomics. Yeah, I have just compared, right, and explained to you the difference between micro and macroeconomics. And now, after listening my explanation, right, try to tell me, right, the following statement is correct or incorrect. Listen carefully, right? You write down my statement, you keep carefully my statement in your mind. Suppose due to the bad weather, due to the bad weather, the quantity of coffee produced in all countries in the world reduces by 10% this year compared to last year. I repeat for the last time. Due to the bad weather, the quantity of coffee produced in all countries in the world reduces by 10% this year compared to last year. This statement related to macroeconomics and why. What I need is your explanation. Right? Never say, sir, related to macroeconomics. That's all. Never say like that. What I need is your explanation. And volunteer first. And if you keep silent, right, I call you randomly. Never raise your hand, but open your mic. Tell me. Never say can I, or because you can. Thank you. First of all, what is my statement? Tell me the statement first. Wrong way. Wrong way. I repeated twice, right? And I told you, or you write down on the paper, right? Or keep carefully in your mind. You said that due to bad weather, the quantity of coffee reduces. Wrong way. I said that due to the bad weather, right? The quantity of coffee produced in all countries in the world reduces by 10% this year compared to last year. And you cut off produce in all countries in the world. Thank you. That's enough. No, turn off your mic.
Oh, so
Giáo
I
viên đã đọc
think
2 lần, đọc chậm rãi từng từ một. Produce in all countries in the world. Cắt bỏ cái cụm từ đi. Cho thầy quantity of coffee reduce. Tất nhiên quantity of coffee thì đương nhiên thuộc vào micro. Another volunteer, if possible.
I think due to the bad weather, it influence on the mass amount, the huge amount of uh, products with coffee bean. So I think is macroeconomic. So
Thank
that's
you. Anyone else?
Quỳnh Trang, and I have a opinion. The because due to the bad weather, the quality of coffee that in the old country around the world decreased 10%. So I think it's related to macroeconomic.
Why? What I need is your explanation, right? Not only your confirmation.
I think it's related to economic-wide phenomena.
And now I ask you that keep your microphone on.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The quantity of coffee produced in all countries in the world. The quantity of coffee in all countries in the world. And the quantity, right, of all goods and services produced in all countries in the world. Which one is the largest?
I think it's the quality um the quality in all country.
Not quality,
It's,
quantity, or quantity,
yeah,
not
quantity.
quality.
Yes, sir. Quantity.
What's your name?
My name is
Hoàng
Hoàng
Thị
Thị
Quỳnh.
Quỳnh Trang.
Yes, thank you. Hoàng Thị Quỳnh Trang get the first negative mark. Not because of your answer. Uh, the negative mark is not related to the first answer. No, but because you don't explain. You said that the quantity of all goods and services, sir. That's all. I repeat many times. What I need is your explanation. And your answer always without explanation. That's why you get the first negative mark. The quantity of coffee, right? Although it produced in all countries in the world, of course, it is smaller than the quantity of agricultural products. Agricultural products produced in all countries in the world. And of course, the quantity of agricultural products is smaller than the quantity of goods and services in all countries in the world. That's why the quantity of coffee, although this coffee, right, this quantity is produced from all countries, but it focuses only on one item. I repeat, although it is produced from all countries in the world, but this statement focuses only on one item. That's why it belongs to microeconomics. Even the quantity of agricultural products, it focuses only on agricultural products, not on all goods and services. And that's why quantity of agricultural products related to microeconomics. Unless You are talking about the quantity of all goods and services from all countries in the world. This one, right, belongs to macroeconomics, and this one belongs to microeconomics. That's why there is a distance, right, between the theory and the exercise. You know well the definition, what is micro, what is macroeconomics, but to do exercise, sometimes you confuse. That's why a student, right, always do the exercise after the chapter, after class, at the end of the chapter to understand well about the theory. This is the first one. The second point in this chapter, positive versus normative analysis of statement. Positive statements attempt to describe the world as it is, describe the events in accordance with what is happening, what is happening, and confirm or refute by examining evidence. Positive statements relate, related to something objective. Something objective is something clear, right? Clear, obvious, and lot of people agree with this statement, with this idea. For example, uh, because that approaches, right? That approaches the the transaction of goods and services increases near that, right? That approaches because people care about that. They prepare food, beverages, etc. That's why the transaction, right? The transaction of goods and services increases during this day. And this appreciation, this statement, this observation, right? Lot of people agree with it. That's why this statement is positive or objective. Another example, right? in the early morning, in the early morning these days, the weather is fresh, the temperature goes down. That's why the weather becomes fresher, right? Becomes fresher and fresher. And I think, right, a lot of people, a lot of students agree with me in the early morning, right, these days. Another kind of statement is a normative statement, something subjective, something subjective. Attempt to prescribe how the work should be. That's personal opinion, right? Personal opinion. That's why we have the word subjective. The opinion with a person of an individual. What to do, how to do, what should you do? Right? Subjective. For example, right? Uh, the, this girl is a beautiful. Right? This is this is an a subjective appreciation because under my eyes she's very beautiful, but under other eyes It's normal. That's why the beauty, right? The beauty depends on the eyes of the person, or positive or negative. And now you try, right, to give me an example related to or positive statement or negative. I don't ask you, right, to give me both statements, only one, or positive or normative statement. So you have 2 minutes to think about it. And of course, volunteers are always welcome. So time is over. Any volunteer?
So my example about positive economic statements. Is it the fact that the government provided healthcare, increase public expenditures. So that is my example.
Uh, After giving what the example, tell me briefly about this. Explain briefly about it. Why your statement is positive, not normative?
So I think the healthcare that government provide for the citizens, it help them about medicine for their health. So it improve their health about the improve healthcare problems. So I think it's positive.
Thank you. It's correct. One last mark for you.
Yes,
Anyone
thank
else?
you.
I give one example for the positive statement. It is the inflation has increased about 5% per year for the last 5 years. Uh, the reason why I think this is the positive statement because for this the uh, for this the inflation, it has been evidenced by a lot of researchers and also the scientists, and everyone uh, also agree with this statement. So I think it is a positive one.
Yes, but if I say if you said that if you say like that, it's better.
Thank
The
you.
inflation rate, inflation rate is approximately 5% 5% per year during the last 5 years. Right? This information announced by the General Statistical Office, and if you say it like that, there is no discussion about it because the General Statistical Office is an official office designed designed by the government, and there's no argument, right? No discussion about these figures. And our cost inflation is approximately 5% in the last 5 years is a positive statement. Understand?
Yeah, thank you.
Bonus mark for you. And now I would like to listen to normative statement, right? Not the positive statement anymore.
So I
I,
can.
I
Okay.
have a normative statement. My example is the government should increase the minimum wage. I think it's the normative statement because it's just a personal opinion, and it's also based on the government, and we cannot test it or change it. Yeah,
The government should increase
the
the minimum
minimum.
wage.
Yes, yes, sir.
Listen, right? Listen to me.
Yes, sir.
If the minimum wage rises, if the minimum wage law right applied in this economy, firms firm, firms or companies right to have to do it because this is the law, right? This is the law. You have to do based on by the law. And according to you, right? Suppose you were the firm, you good hire, right? Hire more or less workers. If you have to pay them higher wage based on the minimum wage law,
Oh well. Um. um
you would hire right more or less workers.
yes. Yes, sir. And. Um,
I don't understand you. I don't understand your answer. My question is not yes or no. Yes or no. I ask you, right? Suppose you were the firm, and now the government asks you to raise the wage paid to workers because the minimum wage law, right? The minimum wage law says that you have to pay higher wage than before, and this is the law. You have to obey, right? The law. You have to obey the law because you are the firm. And now, in this case, you hire more or less workers.
um.
Not yes or no, right? That's why I don't understand your answer.
Yes, sir. And my answers is less. mm, my answers is um will is the company will hire uh less employees.
Why?
Uh, because um mm, when the companies increase increase the increase the wage, and I think they don't have enough purchase for many employees, so they have to hire less employee.
Firm, right? Firm now has less workers, right? In
Yes,
general,
sure.
firms in plural, firms hire less workers, and now the unemployment increases. Unemployment increases. It means that lot of workers now become jobless. They try to find out a job,
Yes,
but
sir.
hard for them to find out a job because the firms tend to use less workers than before. That's why if the government right apply the new minimum wage higher than before, it's not good for the society. It's good for some workers,
Yes, sir. Yes,
not
I.
good for the whole society because some workers get higher salary, right? But a lot of workers become jobless. You understand?
Yes, I understand, sir.
That's why, right? The statement, your original statement is a normative statement.
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you. And what else for you? Yeah, this is some example, right, related to positive and normative statement. And remember that when we talk about normative statement, we talk about personal opinion, right? Personal opinion, and other persons, other people can agree or disagree with this opinion. That's why normative statement related to something subjective. The third point in this chapter, right, is the economic models. The first one, distinction between micro and macroeconomics. The second one, distinction between positive and normative statement. And the third one, economic models. Economic models, right, in the form of diagram, graph, and equation. This is a diagram. Take a look on this diagram. The circular flow diagram is an economic model. The second one, the graph, such as this. This is a graph. This is a graph. Another economic model and equation, right? Diagram, right? Graph, and now equation. Y depends on x. This is an equation. This is a model, right? This is a model, but not economic model. This is a mathematic model. Now I replace y and x by uh, another value, right? The price and the quantity demanded. And you notice that if the price of the good X increases, people right buy less X because the price increases. The quantity demanded, the quantity demanded means the amount of the good X people willing and able to purchase. The quantity demanded decreases. This is an economic model, not only mathematic model, but economic model in form of equation. QD, the quantity demanded, depends on the price. depends negatively on the price. The first part, right? What is economic model? Economic models is the model is sorry are models in the form of diagram, graph, and equation. And these models omit many details to see what's truly important. Usually built with assumptions and simplify reality to help understand the essence of the problem. Omit many details to see what's truly important. In fact, the quantity demanded, the amount of the good X buyers would like to buy, right, depends on many variables. It depends on the price. Suppose you go to the market to buy meat, and the quantity demanded for meat depends on the price of a kilo of meat, depends on your income, right? Depends on your taste, etc., etc. Many variables, right? But because the price is a very sensitive, right? Is very sensitive. When going to the market, the first question, right? The first question to seller is how much is a kilo of meat today? That's the price. Your customers or buyers are very sensitive to the price. That's why to focus on the effect of the price on the quantity demanded, you can keep these variables. Right? You can skip, right? You can skip, and you keep only this one. You can ignore the other variables such as income, taste, and you keep only the price to see what's truly important. Because the buyers are very sensitive to price. That's why you keep only the price in this equation, in this economic model. Omit many details to see what's truly important. Usually built with assumptions. The price increases, the quantity demanded falls. Is true only if your income unchanged, your taste unchanged. Let's see. That's why what we need assumption. Assumption are assumptions before confirming a problem. The price increases, the quantity demanded falls if your income unchanged, your taste unchanged, etc. If you don't use this assumption, your statement is not correct. Without this assumption, right? The price increases, but because my income increases too, that's why the quantity demanded unchanged. The price increases by 10%. My income increases by 10%. That's why I can afford this product, and the quantity demanded unchanged. Or the price is double, but my income is a triple. Finally, I can buy more and more. So you cannot say price increases, the quantity demanded falls. No, you cannot say that because you don't use assumption. That's why to make your statement correct, you need assumptions. In case of in case that income unchanged, right? Tax unchanged. If the price increases, the quantity demanded falls. And this is called, right, the law of demand. the law of demand says that the price increases, the quantity demanded falls, and vice versa. Vice versa. Còn ngược lại. Price increases, quantity demanded falls, and vice versa. Vice versa means if the price decreases, the quantity demanded increases. Other things unchanged. Other things unchanged. Other things remain unchanged. Other things remain the same assumption. And finally, it's very important, right? Economic models try to simplify reality to help understand the essence of the problem. It's very important, right? Simplify reality. For example, right? To talk about the trade-off, suppose all suppose all right resources in this economy used to produce two goods X and Y. All resources are used to produce two goods because resources are scarce, are limited, and if this economy produces more X, it has to sacrifice or to give up some quantity of Y. I repeat, resources are limited, are scarce. That's why if this economy produces more X, it has to give up, it has to sacrifice some quantity of Y. This is the trade-off due to right, the limited resources. And if you understand two good, you can understand more good, X, Y, Z, etc. The economic model, right? Economic model try to simplify the reality to help understand the essence of the problem. Instead of talking about X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, we focus only on X and Y, that's enough. And if you understand well about X and Y, you can enlarge right, the number of goods such as X, Y, W, V, etc. And you will know well in the following chapters, right? We have you will get you will you will you will get and see lot of economic models in the following chapters. This is the meaning of economic model. And now the first economic model is the circular flow diagram. Circular flow diagram. Take a look on this and listen carefully, right? Follow carefully my explanation because after my explanation, I ask you, according to you, what is the circular flow diagram? Under under your view, right? In your opinion, under your eyes, in your view, what is the circular flow diagram? There are two economic actors, two economic actors in this diagram. The first one is household. The first one is households, and the second one is the firms. Firms in plural, right? Households in plural. Two actors, right? One is households, and the other is the firms. And suppose households own and sell factors of production. I'm sorry. There are two actors, right, and two markets for goods and services, and markets for factors of production. Market for goods and services use or serve for your daily life. You need food, beverages, transportation. You need water, electricity. They are all called goods and services. The market for goods and services. And the second one, the second market is a market for factors of production. Factors of production serve to produce goods and to produce products, actually. Factors of production such as materials, machines, equipment, land, and these two markets are different. And now, focus on households first and assumptions, right? Assumptions. Suppose or assume that households own and sell factors of production. This is an assumption. We have two flows, the red flow and the green flow. The red flow is the flow of inputs and outputs. They are all calculated in physical units. And the second one, the green flow of dollars or flow of money, right? I prefer the word money, right, more than dollars. Dollars only the unit in the US, money unit in the US. And of course, flow of money is calculated in monetary units. Two actors, two markets, and two flows. And now focus on the first flow, the red flow, the flow of inputs and outputs, calculated in physical units. Suppose assume households own and sell factors of production. Labor, right? Households own labor, own land and capital, and they sell these factors of production through the markets for factors of production to firms. Follow my pointer, right? And firms hire and use factors of production to produce goods and services to households through the markets for goods and services. And then households continue to sell factors of production. Firms continue to buy factors of production and produce goods and services to sell to households. And this flow circulates non-stop. They never stop. This is the first one. How many workers? How many square meter? Right? How many machines? How many equipment households sell to firms? They are all calculated in physical units. And now the second flow, the green flow, the flow of money. Right? To get labor, right? Firms have to pay wages. To use labor, firms have to pay wages to households. To have land to build factories, firms have to pay rent to households. These payments, right, becomes the income of households, and households use the income to spend on goods and services. And this spending become the revenue of firms, and firms continue to pay for factors of production. These payments becomes the income of households. Households use the income to spend on goods and services, and this flow circulates non-stop. Wages, rent, income, spending, revenue, they are all calculated in monetary units. And you can notice that these are two flows, right, circulate in opposite direction. In opposite direction. Yeah, this is the content of the circular flow diagram. The interaction between firms and households, how people make, no, how people interact with one another, based on the circular flow diagram to show the interaction between firms and households through these two markets. And now, according to you, right, what is the circular flow diagram? Based
Uh,
on your own understanding, right?
so
Your own understanding.
in
Thank you. Anyone else? This is the first opinion, right? And I would like to listen to the second idea, right? The second opinion.
I will answer this. Um, in my opinion, the circular flow diagram contains firms, households, markets for goods and services, and markets for factors of reduction. In the flow of inputs and outputs, we can see that households provide the factors of reductions like labor, land, and
No, I what I need is the definition, right? Not the description, because I have just explained to you in details, right? And now, what is the according to you? What is the circular flow diagram? It doesn't mean you have to uh, to tell me in details the correlation or the relationship between these two factors and these two markets. Just
uh,
a definition. You
uh,
understand? No, no. Wait a little bit. The girl, right? Can you continue or not?
yes. In my opinion, the circular flow diagram represents the relationship between firms and households through the flow of inputs and outputs and the flow of dollars through markets for goods and services and markets for factors and reductions of reductions.
Thank you. Yeah, the third one, the boy. If you would like to continue to tell, right? Yeah. Thank you. Uh, but only the second one, right? Get a bonus mark. For the first opinion, right? You focus on the flow of dollars, the flow of money. I prefer the word money more than dollars. But in this diagram, right? In this diagram, there's another flow, where the flow of inputs and outputs calculated in physical units. And by listening your statement, right? I didn't hear right something related to market for goods and services and market for factors of production. The circular flow diagram has some definition, and one of the simplest definition is this is the diagram, right? The circular flow diagram is an economic model describe the correlation right between firms and households through the markets for goods and services and the market for factors of production. And these correlations of these relationships are connected by two flows: the flow of inputs and outputs, and the flow of money. Yeah, this is the simplest definition, and I think if you have time, all of you can say like that. An economic model describes the relationship between firms and households through the markets for goods and services and the market for factors of production. And these relationships are connected by two flows, the red and the green flow. But uh, thanks, thanks to the boy, right? Anyway, because you are the first volunteer and you tell something related to this. Don't worry about the bonus part because you will have a lot of chances to get it. And the second economic model is the PPF curve of production possibilities function. This is a graph in form of a graph. Suppose all resources right, in this economy are used to produce computers and cars, or produce X and Y. The vertical axis means the quantity of Y, and the horizontal axis means the quantity of X. X here is the cars, and Y here is computers. Yes, and if this economy uses all resources to produce only X, and the maximum quantity of X is here. The maximum quantity of X produced is here. No computers, no Y, right? And the maximum quantity of X is here. And vice versa, right? You pronounce right? Vice versa. Vice versa là một cái tiếng Latin, không phải tiếng Anh, chẳng phải tiếng Pháp. Và trong cách viết văn Anh lẫn Pháp thì ta rất dùng, các tác giả rất dùng nhiều lần từ này vice versa, và ngược lại. Thay vì phản ánh ngược lại nó dài, giá tăng thì lượng cầu giảm, giá giảm thì lượng cầu tăng. Thành ra ta nói price rises, the quantity demanded falls and vice versa. Làm cái câu ngắn gọn hơn và nó dễ nghe hơn. Come back to this and vice versa. If all resources are used to produce Y, and the maximum quantity of Y is here. But if this economy, right, would like to produce at the same time X and Y, so it faces a trade-off. Suppose from A to B, right? From A to B, more car produced, right? Less computers produced. More car have a cost, less computers. From B to C, right? Similarly, from B to C, from C to D, more car produced. This economy has to give up some quantity of computers. Then you connect these dots. You have a curve called the PPF curve. Production possibilities frontier. This is an economic model showing the trade-off between X and Y, right? Between two items, between two goods, due to the limited resources, due to the scarcity of resources, because you know well, resources are always scarce. Yeah. The production possibilities frontier shows the combinations of output that the economy can possibly produce. The combination, right? B, C, A, B, C, D are all combinations. How many cars and produce, right? Will we combine at B, C, D? You see, is it clear for you? And I think it's no need to explain, right? From A to B. From A to B, there's a trade-off. More car, right? Less computers. The combinations A, B, E, F shows the highest production efficiency. A, B, E, F. They are all located. They are all located on the PPF curve and shows the highest production. It means that the resources are fully exploited, are fully used, are fully used, or are fully exploited to produce goods, to produce X and Y, to produce computers and cars. And how about the combination C? Impossible. Because C, firstly, right, the combination C is located outside of the PPF curve. It means that this economy doesn't get this combination because the resources are not enough to produce X and Y, cars and computers at here. That's why the combination C is not feasible. It cannot feasible. And how about the combination D, right? The combination D is located inside the PPF curve. Inside, the outside, inside. But look at D, right? The quantity of cars and computers are small. It means that this economy, right, cannot use fully resources to produce goods and services. And remember principle 8 of economics. A country's standard of living depends on its ability to produce goods and services. More goods and services, higher standard of living. Less goods and services produced, lower standards of living. That's why, in general, right, D is a refuse. This economy refuses to produce X and Y at the combination D. And based on this PPS curve, we focus on all combinations, right, located on the curve, not outside the curve, not inside the curve. This is the second economic model to tell you about the trade-off due to limited resources. And that's all, right? That's all. One more thing, right? One more thing. Here is the original PPS curve. Right? And you know well that technology or technological advance, technological advance, technological knowledge never stops, never stops. And by the time more natural resources are discovered, for example, right, more capital invested into this economy. It means that resources are enlarged. They are not unchanged by the time, but due to technological progress, natural resources discovered, more capital invested into this economy. That's why resources increases over time. And the PPF curve now shift to the right. Compare from A to B. Right? From A to B. There's a trade-off. More car, right? Less computers. But compare B and G. The quantity of car unchanged. The quantity of cars unchanged. But the quantity of computers increases. It's good. Right? More goods and services, higher standard of living. G located on the new PPF curve due to a technological advance. That's why over time, right? Over time, the PPF curve tends to shift to the right, not remain unchanged. Yeah, this is the main content of the chapter, and I summarize a little bit. Firstly, try to distinguish micro and macroeconomics. Secondly, right, try to distinguish positive and normative statement. Positive and normative statement. Thirdly, right, try to be familiar with economic models in form of diagram, graphs, and equations. Omit some many details, right, to see what is truly important, and build with assumptions, and very important, right, try to simplify the reality to help understand the essence of the problem. And we have to in this chapter, right? You have two models. The first one is the circular flow diagram. Circular flow diagram. And the second one is the PPF curve. At the end of the chapter, right, we have a very important part, uh, appendix, right? Appendix. This is the review of basic mathematics used during the course, and I show you, and I advise you to read at home. Yeah, at the end of the chapter, right, chapter 2, and some of you, sometimes a lot of you, right, forget all basic mathematics in high school. That's why hard for you to follow the following chapters. That's why there is an appendix at the end of the chapter 2. In the book I present to you, graphing a brief review. Right? Single variable, right? Two variable, the coordinate system, the type of graphs, pie chart, bar graph, time series graph, etc. Right? And what is the straight line? Right? The curve line, the straight line, the slope. What is the slope of a straight line? And the difference between the movement along the line and the shape of the line. When this line shifts to the left or to the right, and when there is a movement from A to B along the curve, all are presented in this appendix. The slope, how to calculate the slope. It's very important, right? Very, very important. And I think like you should, each of you, right, should refer this appendix to review the basic mathematics in your high school. And now, before taking a short break, we have some multiple choice question to do. Firstly, not firstly, the first exercise is here. Which of these statements are positive and which are normative? How can you tell the difference? Right? Students who get negative mark is priority. Right? A good idea, right, to delete your negative mark by participating this exercise. Tell me this one is positive or normative, and explain briefly.
Sir, may I answer? Prices rise when the government increases
Did
the
you get
quantity.
a negative mark? Did you?
Yeah, I did. I did,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Yes, sir. Prices rise when the government increases the quantity of money is a positive statement. And the explanation is mm, it is it is according to what is really happening, and it is not a personal opinion. So I think it is a positive statement.
You can say, right, price rises when the government brings too much money. Is principle 8, right? Principle 9 among 10 principles of economics. This is the principle 9. And
Nine. Yeah.
this is the principle. This is a principle. That's why it's always true. No argument, right? No discussion about this anymore. Another way to explain. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. One last part for you. The government should bring less money. Thank you. This is this is a subjective opinion, normative statement. A
I think
president is needed. Go on.
I think C is a normative statement because it hasn't been proven to be true, to be right or wrong, and it is more of a subjective statement. So I think it's a normative statement.
Whether you know it is correct or incorrect.
I think this statement is more of a person's opinion since it has the word needed to. Needed to.
Needed. Look
Yeah.
like something look like a should, right?
Yeah. It's like so.
This is an advice.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Thank you. One last mark for you. This is a true for you, right? It is a true for you. And we check it. Right? The first one is positive, correct? B is a normative, should, right? C needed, right? Needed, normative. And how about D, right? Positive, as it describes the relationship between price and consumer demand. Yeah, all of you uh, get a bonus mark for each. And now, the first multiple choice question.
Uh, I think the answer is C.
The answer is C. What do you know?
Uh,
Always with brief explanation.
because from the lesson, we learned that the economic model is the simplified
Not is
simplify
not is the simplifying. No, simplify is a
make
verb, not
make
a noun.
complicated things be simple. The reality is complicated. So the economic model, make it simple.
Very simple. Try to simplify the reality, right?
Yeah, yes,
To try to help understand the essence, right, of the problem. That's why C is correct. What is right for you? Always with brief explanation.
yes, sir.
No explanation. No bonus mark. Even you choose correctly the answer.
Number two is A. The circular flow diagram illustrates that in the markets for the factors of production, household or sellers and the firms or buyers. And the explanation, I think, from the circulars that we have learned from the lessons, you show us the markets for the factors of the products. There is the household because the household will buy, will own and sell the factors of products, and the firms will the will the person who will hire and use the factors of products. This is my answers.
You talk about sellers. You ignore buyers.
I have
Your
mentioned.
explanation, right? Your explanation focuses only on households, and I didn't hear you
Oh, I have mentioned that the firms or the
something related to
buyers.
buyers.
Yeah, because this can hire and use the factors of the production from the household. I think that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be careful, right? The factors of production. But your statement, right? Something related to factors of product, not factor of product. The components of a product is in that is reasonable, right? The factors of production. If you talk about the product, it's better to say the components of a product, not the factors of production, not the factors of product. It's correct. One is mark for you. A point
Um, I
inside the answer. Yeah, go
yeah, I
on.
think the answer is C. Uh, I think the answer is the yeah a point in the point inside the production possibilities frontier is neither efficient nor feasible because when a point located inside the PPF curve it does not exploit the resources effectively.
Thank you. Any idea? Yeah. The correct answer is B. Feasible. You can do it. You can do it. Feasible. You can do it. But uh, the production is not efficient because the resources are not fully exploited, are not fully used, are not fully used. You can produce a combination of goods and services at the point inside the PPF curve, but because the resources are not fully used, are not optimized, that's why the standard of living is not too high. Yes, B is correct, and the boy gets a bonus mark.
Sir, in my opinion, I choose D, because it
You choose the B or D. B
D
or D.
D
D.
D, because it's relating to the economic growth. So I think it's in macroeconomics.
Now come back to A. Why don't you choose A?
Because I said that cigarette taxes, so it's relating to a kind of uh, a specific area, so it's in a micro.
A specific area. Instead of it focuses on a good, an item,
Yes, a
a
good.
particular right, a particular item, a particular good, such as cigarettes. That's why
Yeah.
it is related to microeconomics, not macro. Understand?
Yes,
And how about B?
and B is to the role of Microsoft market. That is a company. It's not a it's it's not a big phenomena.
Wide phenomena, not big. Wide phenomena.
Because Microsoft is just a company, just a firm.
Các bạn trong
It
kinh tế học á, các bạn đừng bạn bớt xài cái từ company đi. Trong kinh tế học người ta phải firm, một cái hãng, company là một công ty. Đó là hai nghĩa này nó tương đương với nhau, nhưng mà cái từ phổ biến trong cái company giống như là bạn một công ty chứng khoán, nhưng mà không ai nói một cái firm chứng khoán, không có nói một cái firm chứng khoán. Công ty chứng khoán thì được, không có cái hãng chứng khoán. Thành ra cái từ hãng nói chung nó mang tính sản xuất nhiều hơn, bởi vì hãng thì liên quan đến sản xuất, hãng thì liên quan đến dùng nguyên liệu, vật liệu, vân vân. Cho nên là bạn dùng từ, các bạn mặc chưa được học từ firm mà hôm nay bắt đầu tiếp cận với cái circular flow diagram thì bạn có từ firm, mở company. Đọc là firm nha, một số bạn là biết nhìn sao ra phim, cái nhìn cái này đọc là phim, phim ảnh là movie các bạn. Movie gì là ảnh hưởng liên quan gì đến đây, cho nên đây là firm, lòng hãng. Microsoft is a name of a firm. Focusing on a firm is not a problem. It's not a macroeconomic issue. That's why it belongs to microeconomics. And how about C?
C is focusing on area that reducing homelessness. It's not a big problem, and anti-poverty program is a specific programs, and it just apply for the reducing the homelessness. So it doesn't influence the whole world, the big problems. So it's a microeconomics.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
D is correct. And the last one, right? The last question.
I think the question for this is answer is A. Hello.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But no bonus mark for you. No explanation. So I need
Oh,
another student. No,
I
that's
think
enough. Too late.
yeah.
It's too
The
late.
connection is something problem, and sorry for that. Yeah.
Anyone else? No, you choose A. You choose which one do you choose? A, B, C, D. I would like to hear you, right? Uh, to hear your statement, your argument about B. Tell me about B. Why don't you choose B? Thank you. A is correct, right? Yeah, well, that's smart for you. Yeah, thank you for your participation, right? All of you. And although I need to tell you all contents of the chapter two, but by giving me right your opinion related to this exercise and these multiple choice questions, that I'm very satisfied about this. I think you can absorb my explanation and use your knowledge, your own knowledge, to give me the correct answer. Thank you. And it's better to take a short break in maximum 20 minutes. And during the break, you can leave the class and you rejoin the class after. Not at all.
Dạ có.
Cảm ơn các em đã phản hồi. Chapter 3 là chapter các em tự học. Thành là tôi không có lên lớp chương này. Chương 3 là một chương khá hay đó, có điều là không đủ thời gian cho nên thành ra các em tự học. Và tôi sẽ hỗ trợ cho các bạn là các em có sách đúng không? Có outline của giáo viên tóm tắt nè, có sách để đọc nè. Hôm trước thì còn chưa có sách. Về nhà chúng ta đọc, và nếu như các em thấy cái phần nào không hiểu thì các em take note tờ giấy và sẽ gặp tôi trong những buổi học offline. Trong cái break time thì tôi rảnh, và như vậy thì trong giờ giải lao các em hoàn toàn có thể hỏi và tôi sẽ giải đáp cho từng cá nhân với những cái phần các em đã đọc rồi mà không hiểu. Chương 3, nội dung của chương 3 thì được giới hạn trong cái midterm exam, nhưng mà nó sẽ vẫn có trong cái final exam. Các em đừng có bỏ qua chương 3.
Dạ thầy ơi, thầy cho em điểm danh với ạ.
Phần điểm danh bổ sung là cuối giờ, điểm danh bổ sung và cái update bonus mark là cuối giờ. Yeah, the remaining of this afternoon, right, reserved for the presentation of chapter 4, one of the core chapter in microeconomics, the important, the core. The market forces of supply and demand. You heard about the supply, right? The demand, the market. But what is the demand? What is the supply? What is the market? All of them, right, will be presented in this chapter. The first notion is market. Market is a group of buyers and sellers of a particular good or service. Particular, right? Specific. A single, right? A single specific good, specific service. A sole seller, right? A sole seller. A sole good, a sole, a single. A group of buyers and sellers of a particular good or service. Buyers determine the demand for the product, and sellers determine the supply of the product. A market has two sides. Market. The demand side, and the supply side. And of course, buyer stand in demand side, and seller stand in supply side. This is the market. A group of buyers and sellers of a particular good or service. Particular good or service because you are studying microeconomics, and microeconomics focuses on an item, on a good, on a service, not examine the economy as a whole, like in macroeconomics. And what is competitive market? Market in which there are many buyers and many sellers, and each has a negligible impact on market price. Negligible, a weak impact on market price, even no impact on market price, because there are many buyers and many sellers. The market price is determined by all buyers and all sellers in the market. Suppose, right, the price of a water bottle, Aquafina bottle, the market price of a water bottle is a 500,000, 5,000 Vietnam đồng. 5,000. I'm a seller, right? I am a seller, and to make more profit, I would like to raise the price of the bottle from 5,000 to 6,000. I repeat, the market price is 5,000, but I would like to sell this bottle at higher price, 6,000. But in this market, there are many sellers, not only me, and other sellers keep the price unchanged, sell the bottle at the market price, and that's why my my customers, right, change from me to other sellers because my price is higher. That's why buyers tend to choose sellers at cheaper price. I lose customers, and of course my profit reduces. No customers, right? No revenue, no profit. That's why finally I can, although I would like to buy at higher price, but impossible for me. I have to accept the price as given. I have to follow the price as given. That's why each seller and each buyer, right, has a weak, a negligible impact or has no impact on the market price. They accept the price as given. Price and quantity are determined by all buyers and sellers, and as they interact in marketplace, etc. This is a competitive market. Many buyers and many sellers. And what is a perfectly competitive market? Goods offered for sale are all exactly the same. Exactly the same. Uh, for example, I uh, I asked my students, I need some A4 blank paper. I need some A4 blank papers. Who can give me, right? Who can give me some? Student A, right, has some papers, A4 papers, but these papers are made from the firm A, right? From firm A. You know well that there are many firms who participate in production in producing A4 paper. Right? Another student, right, has some A4 papers, but they are made from firm B and from C. And they ask me, right, which one do you choose, sir? And for me, yeah, I don't care about AB, about the company, the firm, right, who produces the A4 paper. What I need is a A4 blank A4 paper. That's all. For me, they are the same. They are all blank. And for me, these papers are exactly the same. Exactly the same. No choice, right? No hesitation. No hesitation between them. Goods after a process are exactly the same. Another example, right? If you place before me three bottles, the water bottles, Aquafina, right? Dasani, Aquafina is the product of Pepsi Vietnam. Dasani from Coca Vietnam, and Lavi, right? Lavi, Lavi from Nestle Vietnam. Nestle, Coca, and Pepsi, they are all famous, very famous in the world. So I believe the quality of them. And you place these three bottles before me, and you ask me which one do you choose? Which one do you choose, sir? And I pick up one of them without hesitation, because for me they are all exactly the same. especially the quality. The quality exactly the same. So A4 paper and water bottle in these examples, right? Are products in perfectly competitive market. Goods are all exactly the same. Buyers and sellers are so numerous. Many buyers and sellers. No single buyers or sellers has any influence over the market price. No influence has any influence. No influence, right? No impact, no effect over the market price. And they are price taker, take the price as given. And at the market price, buyers can buy all they want, sellers can sell all they want. And compare right, the competitive market and perfectly competitive market. Here are the similarities between them. Similarities. Many buyers and sellers. No impact on market price. Each buyer and each seller is a price taker, accept the price as given. The same, right? So numerous, no influence, no impact, price taker. And at the market price, buyer can buy, etc. Yeah, here are some similarities between competitive market and perfectly competitive market. The difference is here. The difference is here. In perfectly competitive market, goods are exactly the same. In competitive market, goods are similar, but not exactly the same. Another structure of market, monopoly. Right? The monopoly. In monopoly, there is only one seller, right? The sole seller, the sole seller, only one seller in the market, and seller can set the price. That's why in monopoly, right, seller is the price maker. The price maker is the opposite to the price taker, as in competitive market. In monopoly, right, seller is the price maker. The price maker in competitive market and in perfectly competitive market, seller is a price taker. Take the price as given. Monopoly will be presented in chapter 15, and other structure of market will be presented in chapter 16 and chapter 17, the two last chapters in microeconomics. You will know later. This is the first part. And now we go to the first side of the market, the demand side. The demand side first, then the supply side after. Firstly, uh, to be try to be familiar with the word quantity demanded. Quantity, right? Amount, quantity demanded. Amount of a good that buyers are willing and able to purchase at X price. I repeat, quantity demanded, amount of a good that buyers are willing and able to purchase at X price. Wait a little bit. Yeah. Amount, I repeat the third time, amount of a good that buyers are willing and able to purchase at each price. Give me the price. I can tell you the amount of this good that buyers willing and able to purchase or to buy. This is the quantity method. And the love demand, right? As in the previous chapter, I told you, if the price of a good rises, the quantity demanded of this good falls, and vice versa. Other things equal. The price rises, of course, the price of the good of a good, for example, the good X, Y, or Z. When the price of a good rises, the quantity of the demanded of this good falls, and vice versa. In form of equation, I can write like this. This is the price of the good X. This is the quantity demanded for the good X. The quantity demanded, sorry, the quantity demanded of the good X. The demand for, but the quantity demanded of the good X depends on the price of the good X. And when you write down such equation, right, you have to understand that the price of the good X changes first, then the quantity demanded after. Follow this direction. The price changes first. When the price rises, the quantity falls, right? The quantity falls. The price changes first, then the quantity demanded after. Always like that. Please remember, please remember that, or keep in your mind this correlation. This is the first part, right? The second part, the price rises, the quantity demanded falls. It is only true with assumption, right? Other things equal. Other things equal. Other things here are assumptions, right? Such as the income, tax, etc. And I show you what are other things. Yeah. Other things is it. Other things are other variables are here. Income, prices of related goods, taste, expectations, number of buyers. Beside price, right? Beside the variable price, we have other variables such as income, price of related goods, taste, expectation, number of buyers. They are all called other things or other variables. But because you are focusing on the price, right? You let the price increase or decrease, then you accept the unchanged in other things. This is other things. I come back to this one, to the law of demand. When the price rises, the quantity falls, and vice versa. Vice versa means the last time, right, I mentioned about vice versa, and since now I never tell you about vice versa anymore. Vice versa means if the price falls, the quantity demanded rises. the price become cheaper, right? And it stimulates people to buy more because this correlation is a negative. So I can place, right? I can place the minus sign, right? The minus sign beside the price. Minus here is not not it's not something reducing. No, the minus sign here means the negative relationship between the price and the quantity demanded, and vice versa. Other things equal, yeah. Other variables unchanged. Other variables, right, unchanged. This is the law of demand. When the when the price rises, the quantity falls, and vice versa. Other things equal. I explained very clearly, right, in details, so that you can get the idea of this law. And how to describe the correlation between price and quantity demanded. There are three forms. Right? The first one is demand schedule. The second one is demand curve, and the last one is demand equation. Demand schedule, demand curve, demand equation. They are all, right, describe the correlation between the price and the quantity demanded. What is the demand schedule? This is a table. Demand schedule is a table. This is the table, right? Describe the demand of T. T is the name of a girl, for example. And if you look from top to bottom, you notice that price increases, the quantity demanded falls. Price increases, quantity demanded falls, and vice versa, right? Bottom to top, from bottom to top, price increases, the quantity demanded price decreases, right? Price decreases, the quantity demanded increases. That's why you use the word vice versa. And each price and quantity demanded can create a combination, right? Such as this is the first combination, the first combination, right? The second combination, the third combination. Ten is the quantity demanded at the price of $500. 4 is the quantity demanded at the price of $2,000. That's why, come back to the first definition, right? The quantity demanded is the amount of a good that buyers are willing and able to purchase at each price. Amount of a good that buyers are willing and able to purchase at each price. Give me the price. I can tell you the quantity demanded. Never say quantity demanded in general. No, never. Quantity demanded always is always tied with a price. And come back to this. Based on these combinations, right? You can draw a graph like this. The combination zero and zero items, right? And 3,000 down, etc. Connect these combinations. You have a curve called the demand curve. This is an economic model, right? Economic model in form of a graph. The demand curve slopes downward, represents the negative correlation between the price and the quantity demanded. The price is located on vertical axis and the quantity demanded on horizontal axis. And because the relationship between them is a negative, that's why the demand curve slopes downward. This is the second form. Right? And the third form to describe the correlation between the price and quantity demanded is demand equation. From the from the demand schedule on this one, you observe the demand schedule. You notice that the price increases from top to bottom. The price increases steadily from 0 to 500, 500, right? Steadily, 500, 500, 500, 500. And the quantity demanded falls steadily, -2, -2, -2, -2. And you can say, right? You can say that the demand curve is a straight line. It's a straight line. And based on your knowledge in high school, and if you forget it, please refer right the appendix at the end of the chapter 2. What is a straight line? The D curve shows the quantity demanded depends on the price. But in form of a straight line, you can write like that. QD, quantity demanded, equals B plus AP, where B is a constant, as you know well in high school, right? And A is slope. A is the slope of the D curve. Instead of saying the demand curve, I can use the the brief way, right? The D curve. It means not the demand curve. A is the slope of the D curve, and it takes the negative value because the correlation is negative. The correlation between P and Q is a negative. That's why A takes negative value. Yeah, this is the demand equation. In general, right? In general, the demand curve shows the quantity demanded depends on the price. This is the general equation. The D curve R is a curved line or is a straight line. It depends. In the reality, right, the D curve is a curve, not a straight line. But to simplify the reality, most of microeconomics textbook suppose the D curve is a straight line. But in fact, in the reality, this is a curve, not a straight line. A curved line là một đường cong, straight line là đường thẳng. And now there is a question for you. From the demand schedule, this one, from the demand schedule, please determine the equation of the D curve. From the demand schedule, right? Please determine the demand equation. This case is very easy because the price changes steadily, right? And the quantity demanded changes steadily too. That's why the D curve is a straight line. And you know well, for a straight line, the equation is y equals b plus ax. In high school. Now we replace y by qd, x by p, then you have then the demand equation such look like this. And now determine this. You have 2 minutes to do that. And of course, volunteer with correct answer get a bonus mark. Time is over.
So my
Yeah, the girl first, then the boy after.
So I find out that A equal minus 4 and B equal 12.
Wait, tell me. The D curve, right? The D curve shows QD. Repeat again.
The
D curve, on the demand curve.
demand curve.
Em thấy tôi viết là chữ D trong hai dấu ngoặc không?
Dạ
Đó
dạ
là
dạ.
cái ký hiệu đại số cấp dưới, đó là cái đường biểu diễn, đó là một cái curve.
Dạ dạ. Yes
Và
sir.
dấu hai chấm này là gì? Là nó shows. Bạn chia động từ của thông qua số ít. Hay là
Yes, sir.
describes. Cái gì đó, hiểu không?
Yes sir, I understand.
Bây giờ nhắc thì các bạn nhiều lần nhưng mà có số lượng sinh viên chú ý rất là ít. So, tell me.
The ticker so that the quality the quantity.
Tại sao cái quality nãy giờ một số sinh viên quality sau đó chất lượng của cái viết gì sau đó được, em xài hết cái viết gì viết ra chất lượng của nó chứ.
Yeah, quantity.
Cái quality hoài.
The quantity equal.
Sai lần nữa là người khác tôi gọi gì khác không? Nãy giờ em không chú ý.
The quantity equal the quantity of demanded. Cons demanded.
Làm gì có cái khái niệm quantity of demanded. Người ta là quantity demanded. Số từ ngữ mấy cái từ ngữ cái vocabulary của bạn hơi ít nhau. Last time for you.
Yes, the quantity demanded equal 12. 12.
Khi bạn dùng bạn muốn đọc cái từ này đó thì bạn phải chia động từ của số ít là equals. Động từ nguyên mẫu nó là equal, đúng.
Equals.
Nhưng mà bạn chia cho số ít bạn phải có chữ s, giống như lúc nãy là shows, equals.
Equals.
Mà nhiều sinh viên cứ equal. Thật ra equal có hai từ. Nếu y bằng x, bạn đọc là y equals x. Đó là cách thứ nhất. Cách thứ hai, x and y are equal. Bạn tùy bạn rồi.
Yes,
Bạn thích xài cái verb thì bạn phải chia. Bạn thích xài adjective mà không cần chia. Hai cách này đều đúng, nhưng mà cách viết rõ ra là phải khác nhau. Tôi không có dạy tiếng Anh, tôi không hề có ý định dạy tiếng Anh các bạn, nhưng mà những cái điểm mà tôi thấy các bạn chưa hợp lý thì tôi góp ý. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Học tiếng Anh mà phải chỉ cho bạn những cái này là nó quá thừa, nhưng mà không có. Nhiều sinh viên cứ equal, chả biết equal nào với equal nào.
Yes.
Có thể equal nào chả giống nhau, nói chuyện của bạn không quan tâm nữa.
Yes, sir, I understand. Thank you. So I will try again. The quantity demanded equals 12 minus 4 price.
For P, right?
4 point price. P.
QD equals 12 minus 4P. Trong hàm số thì không cần thiết phải đọc là quantity demanded, đọc bằng lời hết. The D curve, right, shows or describes that the QD equals 12 minus 4P. Rất may cho bạn mà đọc cái P đó. Nếu bạn đọc cái bạn đọc 12-4, bạn không có điểm cộng là đương nhiên rồi, bạn có điểm trừ. Bởi vì 12-4 là 8, viết mong cho rồi. Rồi sao mà là 8 được? Vậy là nó dính đến cái variable P nữa mà. And I check it. I check to confirm that this equation is correct or not. I replace the price by any price, right? For example, this one. The price is 2,000. 2,000 times 4, right? Is 8,000. So the quantity demanded is a negative. It's incorrect.
So I have.
The quantity demanded is a negative. Is not acceptable because it has no meaning. The second one, the second sentence.
I think quantity demanded equals 12 minus
the D curve.
The D curves shows that quantity demanded equals 12 minus 1 over 250. Yes, P. Multiply P. Yes, that's my answer.
If I replace this one by 2,500, 2,500 divided by 250 equals 10, right? 12 minus 10 equals 2. It's correct, right? And what does mark for you?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, this is an application, right? From the demand schedule, you can determine the demand equation, right? With the value of B and the value of A. B is a constant and A is slope. And the slope here always negative because the correlation between P and QD is negative. And now, market demand versus individual demand. Wait a little bit because I would like to correct something. Wait a minute. Wait, please. Yeah, this is the correct file. Right? I open a wrong file. The demand schedule, demand curve, demand equation, right? And yeah. And now market demand. You go to another slide. Market demand versus individual demand. What is individual demand? The demand of a person, such as the demand of G, right? Of A, of B, of C. And the market demand is the sum of all individual demands for a good or a service. The sum of all individual demands. And market demand curve is the sum of the individual demand curve horizontally. You understand well by observing, right? By taking a look on this table and this graph. This table has four columns, right? The price of ice cream cones calculated in monetary units. The quantity demanded of T, an individual, of Min, another individual. And suppose there is only two people in this economy. And to calculate the market quantity demanded, you take the sum of quantity demanded of each individual, and you have this one. And the price of 2,000 dong per ice cream cone. T would like to buy 4 cones, Min 3 cones, and the sum is a seven cones. And based on this demand schedule, you can draw the graph like this, This is the demand curve of T, right? Of Min, and at the same price, 2,000. Right? T and Min would like to buy 7 cones. T demands T's demand plus Min's demand. You have the market demand. What is the sum of individual demand curves horizontally? You make a sum, right? Horizontally. You focus on horizontal axis. What does it mean? It means that you take the sum of 4, right? The sum of 4 and 3. The sum of 4, right? Plus the sum of 4 and 3. You have 7. 7 is here. You make the sum horizontally based on the horizontal axis. Focus on the horizontal axis. Suppose the D curve of T, right? we focus on the good X, the quantity dependent of the good X of G, right? Suppose is 15 minus 2p x. The quantity dependent of the quantity dependent of X of min, what? Min quantity dependent of X of equals shows the quantity dependent equals suppose 70 minus 3 px. And to determine the market demand curve of the good X, you make the sum of these curves. The market quantity demanded equals 120 because they are the same variable, right? Thus you can make the sum. 2 plus 3 is a 5. This is the market demand curve and the market demand equation. It's very easy. Right? And now I talk about the shift in the demand curve. Any change that increases the quantity demanded at every price. Demand curve shift right, the decrease is the opposite of increase. Yeah, please focus on this carefully, right? Follow carefully. It's very, very important and a little bit difficult, a little bit complicated. But if you follow at the beginning, I think you all quite understand well about it. About this, the price of an ice cream cone is here. Suppose the price here is a P1. At P1, right? The quantity demanded is a Q1. If the price increases from P1 to P2, the quantity demanded falls from Q1 to Q2. Price increases, the quantity demanded falls based on the law of demand. And I ask you, right, to keep in your mind, to learn by heart how to climb the law of demand. The price rises, the quantity demanded falls, and vice versa, other things equal. And there is a shift because the price rises, the quantity demanded falls. That's why there is a movement along the D curve from A to B. This is a movement along the line. The movement along the D curve. The D curve, the D curve keeps the same position. It doesn't shift to the right. It doesn't shift to the left. No. It keeps the same position. But the quantity demanded falls in this case. The demand curve unchanged, but the quantity demanded reduces due to an increase in price. You can say, right, A moves to B along the D curve. There is a movement along the D curve. A moves to B along the D curve, and the D curve keep the same position. Take a look on this summary. Right? We have just examined the price of the good X, the price of the good itself, the price of X, for example, right? Represent the variable is the price of X, and if there is a change in this variable, it means that if the price of X increases or decreases, there is a movement along the demand curve. It's clear for you, right? Price increases or decreases, there is a movement along the demand curve. It's very clear, I think. This is the first part. And now I let the price unchanged. The price is always P1 unchanged. Yesterday, the quantity demanded is Q1. Today, the weather is hot. People feel thirsty. They need more water. They need more ice cream cones. That's why, although the price unchanged, but the quantity demanded increases from Q1 to Q2. The quantity demanded increases not due to the change in price, not due to the change in the price unchanged, right? But due to another variable such as the taste. The weather is hot, the temperature is high. That's why you need more ice cream cones, for example. Your taste increases, price unchanged, but your taste increases. Then this shift the D curve to the right. Sorry. Yeah, suppose the Q2 is here. Right? The price unchanged, but because your taste increases, you need more ice cream cones, and the D curve shift to the right. Price unchanged. Other things are price unchanged, right? But other variables change, and the change in other variables shift the D curve out to the right or to the left. It depends on the scenario. And suppose, right? Suppose yesterday the quantity demanded is a Q1. The price unchanged, but the temperature goes down, the weather become colder, right? And people need less ice cream cone. That's why the quantity demanded of cones reduces from Q1 to Q3. What caused the decrease in quantity demanded? Because of the weather, and it changed your taste, right? Now your taste decreases. You need less ice cream cone, and that's why the D curve, the D1, the D curve shift to the left. The decrease in demand, the demand decreases due to the decrease in your taste. Yeah, this is the shift. And again, take a look carefully, right? This is some way. Other things such as income, right? Prices of related goods, taste, expectation, numbers of buyers. There are other things, other variables. And if these things, these variables change, it causes a shift in the demand curve. It causes a shift in the demand curve. Income changes, and this shifts the demand curve to the left or to the right. It depends. Change means or increase or decrease, right? Increase or decrease. When you use the word change, it means that you talk in something general, right? Or increase or decrease. And now there's a graph describing the difference between the shift and the movement along the curve. And please follow, right? The vertical axis means the price of cigarettes per pack, for example, calculated in down, and the number of cigarettes smoked per day. Number of cigarettes smoked per day. And the D curve is here. Suppose at the price of 20,000 dirham per pack, the number of cigarettes smoked per day is 20. And if the price increases, it causes a movement along the line. Price increases, quantity limit falls. There is a movement from A to B along the D curve, and the D curve keep the same position, right? The cause is the price in the cause is the change in price. The main cause, right? The main cause is the change in price. But for the shift in the demand curve, price unchanged. The cause is not the price, right? But the cause comes from other variables. Initially, the price is 20, and number of cigarettes smoked is a 20,000 đồng per pack, 20 cigarettes. And suppose the government imposes more tax on cigarettes. That's why the price, although the price unchanged, right? Tax increases. No, wait. The price unchanged, and then a policy to discourage not smoking. For example, you will be punished seriously if you smoke in a public area. For example, smoking in public area will be punished even seriously. Although the price of a cigarette pack unchanged, but you are afraid of the punishment. You reduce your smoking. That's why the D curve shift to the left. The price unchanged. The cause is not the price, but the policy, the punishment. Being afraid of punishment, you reduce smoking. That's why the D curve shift to the left. This is very clear, right? The difference between the shift, the movement along the D curve, and the shift in the D curve. One, yeah. Do you follow me at the beginning or not? And listen again, right? You have the equation, right? The D curve. QD equals the price. The price changes, but other things equals other things unchanged. And of course, price changes, the quantity limited changes too. Price rises, quantity limited falls. Do you got it until now? And there is a movement along the D curve. Understand? Price rises, quantity limited falls. Other things equal. Movement along the line. And now I talk about the shift. The price unchanged. Of course, the price of the good itself, the good X, for example. But other things change. Now, other things, other variables. Before unchanged, but other things change. And although the price unchanged, but other things change. That's why the quantity demanded changes. The quantity demanded changes not due to price, right, but due to other things, and it causes a shift in the D curve. Do you get it? And again, for the whole class, right? Take a look at this. This is the principle, right? This is the principle of movement and shift. The movement based on the equation, right? Argument here based on equation, not on the graph. And now we move to the graph. Price rises. The cause, what the cause is the change in price. Price rises. Quantity falls. Movement along the line. D curve keep the same position, unchanged. The D curve unchanged, but the quantity limited changes. The D curve unchanged, but the quantity dependent changes. Now the second case, price unchanged, but policy is the policy, right? The policy affects the taste. For example, right? Affect your taste. Being afraid of punishment, you reduce smoking. It means that your taste diminishes, reduces, falls. That's why the D curve now shift to the left, although the price unchanged. So the cause is not the price, but but outside of the price, such as taste, income, expectations in the future, number of buyers, etc. Is it clear for you, the boy? Thank you for your comprehension. Right? So you based on the graph, but for me, right, it's better to take this one. It's better to understand well about the argument based on the equation. If you have some knowledge of mathematics in your high school, right, it's clear for you based on this one. And if you forget all about this, please refer the appendix at the end of chapter 2 as I repeat many times. And finally, right? Finally, the remaining, right? You mark and read it at home, right? Read and mark and read at home. Variables that can shift the demand curve: income, prices of related goods, taste, expectations, numbers of buyers, and take note if you don't understand. You don't understand, and please ask me, right? Feel free, right? Feel free when and see me during the break time. Of course, in the offline class, not online class. And the last thing I would like to tell you is how to distinguish the demand and quantity demanded. Demand and quantity demanded. It's not difficult, but clear. It's clear for quantity demanded. I repeat many times. Amount of a good that buyer willing and able to purchase at X price. Tell me the price, right? I can tell you the quantity demanded because we have the equation, right? If P is P1, of course Q1. If P is if P takes the value of P2, you can easily calculate Q2 because the quantity demanded depends on price. Q1 is quantity demanded at each price. And how about demand? What demand is something related to behavior, attitude, reaction of buyers when price changes. The behavior. What is the behavior? Take a look at this. Sorry. If the price increases, you change your behavior, right? You reduce smoking. The main cause is the price, and your behavior changes. You reduce smoking because the price, because because of an increase in the price, because of an increase in the price of cigarette pack. That's why the word demand describe the behavior, not a number, not a quantity. It's different from quantity demanded. Quantity is closely related to a number, a value, a figure. Phần này có lẽ tôi trình bày bằng tiếng Việt một chút cho các lớp hiểu, mặc dù nó vẫn là những cái từ của tiếng Anh. Khi giá mà tăng lên từ 20.000 đến 40.000 một gói thuốc lá đấy, thì bạn phản ứng bằng cách là bạn giảm mua, thu nhập bạn không đổi. Đó là thing cycle. Và giá tăng, nếu giá cứ tăng từ 20 lên 40 thì bạn sẽ giảm số lượng điếu thuốc lá là bạn hút mỗi ngày, giảm từ 20 điếu xuống 12 điếu. Đó là cái behavior của bạn. Như vậy làm sao biết được behavior của một người? Chúng ta nhìn vào cái đường cầu này. Giá tăng từ đến đây thì họ giảm hút. Giá tăng nữa từ đến đây thì cái lượng cigarette sẽ giảm hơn nữa. Đó là cái behavior của người tiêu dùng đó. Còn nếu giá rẻ hơn thì sao? Bây giờ giá giảm xuống từ 20.000 xuống 10.000, người ta tăng hút, cái số lượng điếu thuốc lá sẽ hút nhiều hơn. Như vậy nhờ cái đường cầu này mà ta thấy được cái reaction hay là behavior của consumers, của buyers. Và thay vì bạn nói là behavior, attitude, reaction của buyers khi mà giá thay đổi, thì bạn dùng cái từ rất ngắn gọn là demand. Như vậy cả một đường cầu này nó mô tả được cái demand của người tiêu dùng. Cả một đường cầu, nó không phải là con số, nó khác lại cái quantity demanded, nói về cái amount là một con số, cái này là con số này, cái này là con số, thành ra bạn gọi đây là cái quantity demanded. Còn demand không phải là con số này, không phải số này, demand là cả một đường cầu này nó mới diễn đạt cho bạn một con số, nó mới diễn đạt hành vi. Cả một đường cầu này mới diễn đạt cho bạn một cái behavior, hành vi đó. And come back to this. Demand mô tả cái gì? Behavior, attitude, reaction của buyers khi giá thay đổi. Và nó được thể hiện bằng một cái đường cầu. Cái demand này được thể hiện bằng một đường cầu. Một đường cầu mới nói về cái behavior được. Nó khác là cái quantity demanded. Một con số gắn là một mức giá. Mỗi mức giá có con số. Thế là sao? Rồi, bây giờ thay đổi trong demand này. Bạn sợ bị phạt. Vậy tôi nói về cái punishment đó. Bạn hút thuốc lá mà bị phạt. Bạn sợ. Thành ra bây giờ bạn thay đổi cái behavior. Thay đổi behavior không phải do giá, mà thay đổi behavior là do cái khác với giá. Other things, other variables. Một cái policy, một cái punishment. Như vậy lúc này behavior của bạn thay đổi do một cái yếu tố khác với giá, không phải là giá. Thì lúc này người ta nói là cái behavior của bạn thay đổi theo chiều hướng nào? Theo chiều hướng giảm. Và do đó chúng ta nói là the demand decreases, hay là decrease in demand. Nó không phải con số, mà nó là một cái hành vi. Như vậy increase in demand, hành vi thay đổi theo chiều hướng tăng. Decrease in demand, hành vi thay đổi theo chiều hướng giảm. Đó là cái giờ lấy một ví dụ khác cho bạn dễ thấy. Ví dụ bạn nhìn tôi sửa làm chút. Trục tung là một cái price of a ticket bóng đá đây. Còn cái trục hoành là number of ticket vé bóng đá. Cái price là lúc nào cũng là số ít nha. Price là một trong một món hàng sao số nhiều được. Rồi giá vé là 40.000. Ví dụ trận Việt Nam Thái Lan tối nay, ngày hôm qua đi, ngày tuần trước đi, biết Việt Nam có đã không vào chung kết đâu, không biết Thái Lan không vào chung kết đâu biết. Thành ra giá vé một tuần trước 40.000 đó, thì cả thị trường này mua 12.000 vé. Bây giờ được tính là 12 là ngàn đi, 12.000 vé. Mà nếu giá vé mà rẻ hơn thì người ta mua 20.000 vé. Giá tăng giá giảm thì nó làm cho cái lượng cầu thay đổi, điều đó không sai. Cái behavior của bạn thay đổi, nó mà thay đổi dọc theo cái đường này nè. 40.000 người ta mua 12.000 vé thôi. Rồi bây giờ behavior thay đổi theo chiều hướng tăng này, không phải do giá vé. Giá vé bây giờ vẫn là 40.000. Giá vé bây giờ vẫn là 40.000. Nhưng mà bắt đầu từ ngày hôm qua, bắt đầu từ 3 ngày trước, sau khi Việt Nam đá với Indo mà thắng, người ta biết là Việt Nam vô chung kết. Vô chung kết thì ở mức 40.000 đó, bình thường ở tuần trước người ta mua 12.000 vé, đúng không? 12.000. Nhưng mà hôm nay không có, 3 ngày trước 40.000 đồng một vé, nhưng mà người ta đã mua lên đến số lượng rất nhiều. Ví dụ người ta đăng ký mua đến 50.000 vé. Ví dụ vậy, gấp 4 là số này. Như vậy ở 40.000 bình thường tuần trước chưa biết ai có chung kết, người ta mua 12.000 vé, người ta muốn mua 12.000 vé, mà cách đây 3 ngày số lượng tăng vọt, và hôm nay thì không còn vé để bán nữa. Và như vậy cái behavior của bạn thay đổi theo chiều hướng tăng, đâu phải do giá vé. Tôi chưa nói là giá vé tăng nha, giá vé giữ nguyên, giá vé đáng chính thức là 40.000. ở kháng đại A đi, nhưng mà người ta muốn mua nhiều hơn, và như vậy trong trường hợp này nó có một cái shift in the bell curve to the right, và cái dấu mũi tên này nó cho chúng ta thấy là there is an increase in demand for ticket of football match. Đó, như vậy bạn về bạn ghi ngẫm lại một lần nữa. Trước hết là dựa trên cái equation, khi nào thì có một cái movement along the line, the D curve, khi nào có cái shift in the curve, shift in the curve, còn movement along the D curve. Chúng ta nhìn trên đây rất dễ, cái price thay đổi, movement along the line, price unchanged mà other things change, thì cái này nó thay đổi theo cái dạng shift, nó khác thay đổi theo dạng movement. Yeah, this is the main contents of the chapter, of the first part. Because this chapter is too long, right? That's why I have to divide into two parts. Part one related to demand, and part two related to supply. And I would like you to read our course during the test, the remaining, right? Start from here, price and profits. Price and profits related to supply, right? At the end of the chapter. Start from here, right? Until the end of the chapter. Supply and demand together, right? A shift in both supply and demand curve. Yeah, until here. And I give you the textbook. You got my outline a week ago, 2 weeks ago. You have time, right? You have a lot of free time, and reserve some time during the test to read it first. And when coming back to school, to online class, I hope, right, something is clear for you. Rồi, như vậy buổi học hôm nay chúng ta tạm dừng ở đây với phần đầu. Phần sau thì tôi mong muốn là các em đọc trước tại nhà, đọc trước và hiểu được thì quá tốt. Tôi nghĩ là hiểu được bởi vì chúng ta học khá kỹ phần cầu, thì các em sẽ đọc về phần cung, nó có một số điểm giống, có nhiều vừa khác vừa giống. Một bên nói về sellers, bên nói về buyers thì phải khác, không giống nhau rồi, nhưng mà có những lập luận nó tương đối giống, cũng là shift, cũng là movement along the line, cũng là supply schedule, supply curve, supply equation, và sau đó chúng ta mới combine supply and demand together để xem nó diễn biến sao. Rồi, đó là cái phần làm việc buổi chiều nay. Trước khi các bạn ra về thì tôi muốn cập nhật cái điểm cộng cho các bạn, và những bạn chưa được điểm danh đúng không, thì cũng lên tiếng cho tôi biết. Mà đợi chút để tôi chuyển cái file. Rồi, như vậy trước hết là những điểm cộng đi. Tôi cập nhật điểm cộng trước, điểm danh sau, điểm danh bổ sung sau. Những bạn nào có cái bot smart vui lòng mở microphone và cho tôi biết, và các em theo dõi trên cái bảng này xem tôi có bị nhầm dòng hay không. Số 8 Nguyễn Châu Nhi Hoàng đúng không? Số 9 máy bot smart nhiều quá vậy, đúng không? Rồi. Hỏi thôi chưa, tôi tin các bạn. Bạn nào nữa?
Dạ. Số 17 Trúc Mai một bonus.
Trúc Mai một bonus smart. Yes.
Số 18 Xuân Nghi 2 bonus smart thầy.
Sorry. Updated. Bạn nào nữa?
Dạ. Số 6 Hương Giang, 1 bonus ạ.
6 Hương Giang.
Dạ.
Một bonus mark. Rồi.
Dạ, số 26 Thu Uyên, 2 bonus mark. Dạ 28 á thầy.
Dạ số 25 1 bonus.
Dạ số 27 ạ, Tú ạ, 2 ạ.
Số 21 Minh Quang, bonus mark.
Xin lỗi các bạn chút. Rồi, các bạn nêu tiếp. Tình tùy ho không kiềm chế được.
Số 21 Minh Quang, 1 bonus mark.
Minh Quang, 1 bonus mark.
Dạ đúng rồi.
Như vậy là bạn đang nằm trong tình trạng là break even. Và tốt rồi. Chúng ta ba trạng thái đúng không? Get profit, thứ hai là break even hòa vốn, thứ ba là bị loss, là bị lỗ đó. Bạn là break even là tốt rồi. Tất nhiên mà còn rất nhiều vụ nữa, rất nhiều cơ hội nữa để có điểm cộng. Anyone else? Rồi bây giờ đến bạn nào lúc này điểm danh chưa kịp.
Dạ số 23 Hoàng Thị Quỳnh Trang ạ.
Số 23 Quỳnh Trang, hôm trước có điểm trừ đúng không?
Dạ đúng rồi. Không, cái vừa nãy thầy, vừa nãy mới bị điểm trừ.
Liên quan có điểm cộng điểm trừ. Rồi, có tên là Quỳnh Trang hay là
sao em bị 2 điểm trừ thầy? Em là Minh Quang.
Các bạn. Bạn Quỳnh Trang nào? Hoàng Quỳnh Trang hay Trần Ngọc Quỳnh Trang?
Dạ Hoàng Thị Quỳnh Trang ạ.
Rồi, bạn có 1 cộng 1 trừ. Bạn nào nữa?
Dạ, số
Không thì đến bạn điểm danh cập nhật. Bạn nào chưa được điểm danh?
Dạ, số 26 Ngọc Trinh ạ.
26 Ngọc Trinh. Rồi, điểm danh bạn có mặt.
Dạ thầy ơi, em không có điểm cộng á thầy, nãy em điểm danh á thầy. Em là Hoàng Thị Quỳnh Trang, số 23.
Sao lắm? Rất may là bạn trung thực đúng không? Rồi tôi đánh giá cao sự trung thực của bạn, nhưng mà đang điểm danh, đang điểm cộng thì bạn lại nói, thành ra tôi đâu có biết là bạn điểm danh hay là cộng. Rồi như vậy tôi vừa cập nhật điểm danh cũng như là cái điểm cộng dành cho những bạn tham gia buổi học ngày hôm nay. Bây giờ thì các bạn phải ra về đúng không? Hôm nay lại chương này chúng ta kết thúc ở đây. Hẹn gặp lại cả lớp sau Tết. Chúc các bạn ăn Tết vui vẻ bên gia đình và rảnh rỗi xem bài một chút cho đỡ quên. Rồi gặp lại các bạn vào buổi học sau online. Rồi cảm ơn em.
Em chào thầy ạ.
Dạ em chào thầy.
Em chào thầy.
Các bạn.
Em chào thầy.
Chào thầy ạ.